What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. Welcome into the tight end edition. Start, sit, heading into week 6. Make sure the Vikings and TJ Hawkinson, the Texans and Dalton Schultz are out of your lineups this week. They are on a bye. Before we dive into it, guys, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. I will be live tomorrow for the Start, Sit show before the Thursday night football game, Eagles-Cowboys. And this is going to be your tight end video where you get all the information, receptions, yards, touchdowns, defensive ranks, positional players that are out possibly, and matchups over unders, why I like the game scripts, and how I'm going to look at these guys as start sits this week, guys. If you haven't checked out the Discord, make sure you check it out. It's pinned in the comments and in the description. The Guys FF, we cover everything fantasy football, even off stream, 24/7. Me and Big Draft Energy, my partner. Dynasty, ReDraft, Pick'ems, DFS Plays. We do that all on drafters.com. Make sure you sign up using promo code SLEAZE. Shout out to the sponsor. It will double your initial deposit up to $100. And let's dive in, take a look here at the tight ends that you should be starting or sitting heading into week 6. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is the tight end board. Green, start at the top. Yellow, flex. High end, low end, flex. I'll break it down. Red is a sit. Away team at the top, home team at the bottom. We are going to kick it off with Thursday night football. The Philadelphia Eagles are headed into the New York Giants. And Dallas Goedert, this is going to be a game where both these defenses are very, very tough versus the tight end. Now, Dallas Goedert's going to be a low-end flex play for me this week. The Giants are number 9 versus the tight end, allowing 10 points, 25 receptions, 186 yards, and 1 touchdown. So math that out, you're at about a 20% touchdown rate, and you're at about, 45 yards. So do I want to take that odds with Dallas Goedert? Not really, but if I have to, it's low-end flex play because tight end's always harder. Now, Theo Johnson, the opportunity has risen, and he has started to shine. He has 3 touchdowns in the last 2 games since Jackson Dart has been in the game, and people are going to look at what happened last week and think that it's going to be a splash play this week. And could it be? Yes, because you do have Malik Neighbors. This season is over. Darius Slayton is out. You have Wan'Dale Robinson, Jalen Hyatt out there. And Theo Johnson could be the security blanket play, but the Philadelphia Eagles are so damn good versus the tight end. I'm putting him as a mid-tier flex play, not high end, because they are ranked number 4. They give up 7.8 points, 19 receptions, 141 yards, and a touchdown. Very, very tough matchup here for him. So it's about 35 yards and a 20% chance of a touchdown. Not great, but again, he'll probably be the second, maybe the first option in this offense with how fast the Eagles are going to get after Jackson Dart. So both these tight ends I have as low-end flex plays this week, and I don't like to ride high off what happened last week. I like to play off the matchups, and these are very tough matchups for both these tight ends. The 3-2 Broncos are headed into the 0-5 Jets, over under 43.5. Denver is favored by 7.5, and we're in the same kind of situations like the Eagles-Giants game here. Both these tight ends, Mason Taylor had a big week, back-to-back 2 weeks of great targets, or 3 weeks of great targets. Evan Ingram found the end zone last week, but Evan Ingram's only playing 50% of the snaps. And when you're looking at the Broncos versus the Jets, the matchup is great. The Jets, they rank 24th. They give up 15.4 points to the tight end, 27 receptions, 202 yards. That's 50 yards a game. And guys, they've given up 5 touchdowns to the tight end. That's a touchdown a game. That is number 1 in the NFL. It should be a smash start for Evan Ingram. He just doesn't play enough snaps for me. Like, he's playing 55, 40, 42, 46. Get this guy back to his 90% snaps where he played last year before injury, and Evan Ingram will splash in the Joker role in the Sean Payton system. So he is a high-end flex play tight end, but again, I need more usage. I'd use an example of, it's like when people are arguing with me with Byshell Tootin, right? He got 2 touchdowns, and all of a sudden he becomes a flex play. He was playing 15% of the snaps at the time. Evan Ingram is not playing tight end 1 usage snaps, but this matchup is absolutely glorious. So I would have him as a full green go, but I just don't like it that he's not playing full time out there right now because he's playing off the injury. Now, when it comes to Mason Taylor, this guy's been getting targeted like crazy. He's become the second option 100% in the New York Jets offense behind Garrett Wilson. But you're going to get the Denver Broncos. They rank 8th versus the tight end, allowing 9 points a game. They've given up 20 receptions, 213 yards, and 1 touchdown. So, yeah, could he get it in garbage time and get it going like he has the past 3 weeks? Because that's what the Jets are going to do at 0-5. Yes, he's still going to be a flex play, not a smash start because the matchup is tough, not a sit because the matchup isn't that bad because the Jets always play from behind and like to pass like crazy with Wilson at the end. So, this is another situation like the first game here. Like, both these guys are flex start tight ends. I don't like them as, top tier tight ends this week. But could they both get the job done? Yes, they could. All systems green game. The 2-3 Arizona Cardinals headed into the 4-1 Indianapolis Colts. Over under 47.5. Gotta like that. Indianapolis favored by 6.5. And Kyler Murray just needs to get Trey McBride involved. This guy looks so goddamn good out there. It's like he can't see over the line and can't get him the ball. It's driving me absolutely nuts. And Kyler Murray's a little banged up. Maybe the change in the guard at quarterback will get a more stable, taller quarterback to see over the line and use a security blanket because Trey McBride is destroying defenses. But you get the Indianapolis Colts. They rank 11th. They give up 11.6 points per game, 27 receptions, 233 yards, and 1 touchdown. So around 40 yards a game and a 20% chance of a touchdown. But it's Trey McBride. I'm not sitting this guy, even though it's been off to a rough start for his talent. Tyler Warren, man. We may be looking at another rookie tight end one here. You get the Arizona Cardinals this week, and this guy is looking to score again for his 3rd time straight. And it doesn't matter the matchup for me. This guy can even run one in. You saw him rush a touchdown in. He played quarterback in high school. He could pass one in as well. And the Arizona Cardinals ranked 22nd versus the tight end, giving up 14.7. They've given up 34 receptions, 338 yards. That is 3rd worst in the NFL. And they've also given up 1 touchdown, so 20% chance there as well. But this guy can rush him in the red zone too. I'm starting both these superstar tight ends this week. The 3-2 Chargers on a 2-game slide are headed in to face the Miami Dolphins that are 1-4. The over-under is 43.5. Chargers are favored by 4.5 in this game, and Darren Waller has been on an absolute tear since he's come back. We're going to talk about the Dolphins first here. And yeah, with Tyreek Hill gone, you're going to feel like it's time to start him because the volume's going to be there and the target's going to be there, which they have. I'm not going to put him as a start here this week. I'm going to put him as a flex play at best, which is, still startable, and I guess you could put it that way. But, guys, the Chargers are damn good versus the tight end. They are number 5. They allow 8.5 points in total to the position, 16 receptions. So through 5 games, it's about 3 receptions a game to the tight end right there, 145 yards in 5 games. That's like 35 yards a game and 1 touchdown. That's a 20% chance of a touchdown. That's a very, very tough matchup for Darren Waller this week. People are going to see that he's had 2 big weeks in a row and want to throw him out there for another smash week. He was my smash start last week. I don't like him as a smash start this week. I like him as a flex play at best. Mid-tier flex play, not even high-end. Chargers side, Rondé Gadsden is getting more work. The rookie out of Syracuse, Will Dissly, Conklin, they kind of mix them all in there, so it makes it kind of a nightmare. I wish it was just one guy. I wish they were making this the Rondé Gadsden show, who was my sleeper of the year when he was drafted to the Chargers coming into the season, and he's starting to work his way there. The matchup is great versus the Dolphins. They rank 25th. They give up 15.5 points, 27 receptions, 324 yards. That's 3rd worst in the NFL in yardage. That is what you want. And they also give up 3 touchdowns, which is tied for 3rd worst. The matchup's great. We just don't have enough usage from him. It's like how do I put it? Like an Evan Ingram system that isn't there for Evan Ingram yet. And it's going to be there in time for Rondé Gadsden. It's just not yet. And I'm not starting him in this game. The 1-4 Browns are headed into the Steel City to take on the Steelers. 38.5 over under, lowest game of the week. 5.5 spread for the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off the bye. And when it comes to the Browns, they're the away team. Sorry, they're on the wrong side here. David Njoku is back. And why is he back? Because you have rookie quarterback Dylan Gabriel. And what do rookie quarterbacks do? They look for their security blanket. And then Harold Fanning gets the first touchdown of the week. And you've seen since Cedric Tillman is out, they're going to use Harold Fanning even more. So both these tight ends, David Njoku is definitely going to be a start no matter what from here on out at this rate. And Harold Fanning is going to be a flex play, a high-end flex play probably from here on out at this rate. You get the Pittsburgh Steelers defense versus the tight end. The Pittsburgh Steelers right now currently on the season are ranking 26th, giving up 16.5 points. This is what you want. 21 receptions, 250 yards. That's 50 yards a game. Actually, no, it's not because they had a bye, so it's like 70 yards a game. And they have given up 3 touchdowns. This is a perfect spot for both these tight ends. I'm okay with Harold Fanning as a flex play if you need this week. On to the Steelers side, I'm not touching either one of them. Arthur Smith is doing his thing. Jonnu Smith played 20% snaps. Pat Freiermuth, can't trust him. You're playing the Cleveland Browns. This defense ranks 12th, giving up 11.9 points, 22 receptions, 195 yards, 3 touchdowns. Not doing it by any means. Do I trust any of the Pittsburgh Steelers besides DK Metcalf this week? The on-fire Dak Prescott Dallas Cowboys offense at 2-2-1 is headed in to face the Carolina Panthers at 2-3. They're on a 2-game win streak as well in Carolina. The over-under is 49.5 high implied point total game. Why? Because Dallas is scoring at will. Jake Fergalicious Ferguson, you are not sitting. This guy has a chance to be possible tight end 1. He is on a 4-game heater, and it doesn't even matter if CeeDee Lamb was out there or not. He had 12 targets when he was out there. This has been my talk of the year all season long. Is to draft Jake Ferguson to be the best value at tight end, and goddamn, he is producing like an absolute monster. You get the Carolina Panthers. They rank 31st, second last in the NFL versus the tight end, giving up 18.02 points, 32 receptions, 401 yards. That is 75 yards a game to the tight end, 3 touchdowns, 75% chance of a touchdown. You have to love this situation for Jake Ferguson this week. Get him in your lineups and don't even think about it. On to the Panther side, Jatavion Sanders is going to be back. He practiced. Still, I don't like the matchup, even though it could be a shootout game versus the Dallas Cowboys. They've been decent versus the tight end. If they've been decent versus anything on defense, this is it. They do rank 16th, giving up 13.7, 33 receptions, 277 yards, and a touchdown. So 20% chance of a touchdown there. Don't like Jatavion. I don't like a player coming off injury either way. And I do think you're going to have more of a splash with Coker, Leggett, and with Ted McMillan week. Ted McMillan week is here, boys. Well, we've got a change of the guard that's pretty interesting here in this game. So the 3-2 Seattle Seahawks headed in to face the 4-1 Jacksonville Jaguars at Duval County. 46.5 over-under in this game. And the Jaguars are favored by 1.5 here. And interestingly enough, I dropped my mouse pad. Interestingly enough here, I thought it was going to be Elijah Arroyo out of Miami coming in here to win this tight end job. And it looks like it's A.J. Barner, guys. He's played 86% of the snaps, 80% of the snaps, back-to-back double-digit weeks, 12 points, 24 points. You get the Jacksonville Jaguars here. Like, if you need a kind of, throw a tight end in because of injuries, not a bad option here, especially with Jackson Smith and Jigba drawing all the attention. You still got Cooper Kupp. I'm not saying he's Cooper Kupp of old, but still, this is going to be open roaming for A.J. Barner here. And the Jacksonville Jaguars ranked 14th versus the tight end, giving up 12.6, 27 receptions, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, about a 35% chance of a touchdown, and they give up about, 52 yards per game to the tight end position. And he's on fire. 7 targets is what you want, 53 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's become the red zone look for Sam Darnold. Interestingly enough, he's probably available on your waiver wire. So if you need to throw it tight end, this is not a bad one. I like volume. This is what I talk about with Evan Ingram. This is what I talk about with Gadsden in this video. Think about it. Evan Ingram, Pro Bowl tight end name, playing 44% of the snaps. A.J. Barner playing 86%. Opportunity leads to volume. Volume leads to points. This is what I like. This is how I always do fantasy football. And A.J. Barner is someone that's very, very sneakily climbing up the boards here. On to the Jacksonville Jaguars side, Brenton Strange goes to IR. I'm not starting Ham or any of the guys behind him. They're both 31, 30 years old. I think they're going to be looking to trade for a Mark Andrews or an Njoku, or from a team that's, falling apart already and they need to give up a tight end. Feel so bad for Strange, man. He was playing great coming into the season. So I'm not even going to read the stats for Seattle against the tight end, but I will tell you that Seattle the matchup would have been great, man. They rank 30th versus the tight end, but I'm not using any of the backups out there for them. The 3-2 Rams are headed into the 1-4, soon to be 1-5 Ravens. And this is an all systems red game for me here at tight end. When it comes to the LA Rams, they just are Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, and it's a dart throw for a touchdown for anyone else. So, yeah, I'll give you the matchup here for the Baltimore Ravens, but I'm not starting Ferguson or Higbee. I wish they'd let Higbee loose and just be the guy. The matchup isn't bad versus the Ravens. They rank 23rd, giving up 15.1, 34 receptions, 355 yards, and a touchdown. But, no. It's Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Kyron Williams, or bust for Matt Stafford. I'm not touching either one of these. On to the Ravens side here. Now, this one gets interesting. So, The Rams, if they have a weak spot on defense, it's versus the tight end. They rank 19th, giving up 14 points per game, 27 receptions, 246 yards, almost 50 yards a game, and 2 touchdowns. So it's about a 40% chance there for a touchdown. But you got Cooper Rush, who last week looked absolutely terrible, who's going to be the quarterback again. It says uphill battle for Lamar Jackson. And you've also got the weird part of Mark Andrews being part of trade packages. So could they showcase Mark Andrews in this game? Sure. Do I want to take the gamble on it with Cooper Rush? No, I do not. So if you want to, that is up to you. I am sitting likely Higbee, Ferguson, and Mark Andrews in this game, and I think the Rams are just going to destroy them. Ugly, ugly, ugly. The 1-4 Titans are headed into Las Vegas to take on the Raiders that are 1-4. Over-under is 41.5. The spread is 4.5 in this game. Raiders are favored. And this is just ugly across the board here. I put the Ravens up. Oops, let me grab the Raiders. So it looks like Brock Bowers isn't going to be out there. Now, could Mayer, if Brock Bowers isn't out there, be in low-end flex play tight end? Sure. Because Michael Mayer was actually very good at Notre Dame, high draft pick, still young, was involved in the offense even before the injury, and he just cleared protocol and he's practicing in full, so he looks like he's going to be good to go. Brock Bowers does not. But both these teams, you know, if there's a weaker one, it's the Titans than it is the Raiders, right? The Raiders are number 6 versus the tight end, allowing 8.6 points. They've given up 16 receptions only to the tight end through 5 games. That is 3 receptions a game. That is bonkers. 211 yards and 1 touchdown. Now, when I look at the Michael Mayer side going up against the Titans, they rank 10th, giving up 10 points a game to the tight end. 25 receptions, though. That's the number you like to see. That's high receptions to the tight end, but not a lot of yardage at 196 and a touchdown, so there's about a 20% chance of a touchdown. Again, Geno Smith hasn't had any of these tight ends out there. This could really help him. Could he be a low-end flex play? Yes. Is it going to be great with how Geno's playing? No, because Geno looks absolutely terrible. But still, you could probably get 8 to 10 points out of Mayer this week if you need, because Jacoby Myers and the wide receivers just cannot get anything going, really. Geno Smith has been an absolute shell of himself. And if there's anything that's going to be easy, it's going to be across the middle for him where Michael Mayer lives. Joe Flacco and the Bengals that are 2-3 are headed in to face the Green Bay Packers. Over under 44.5. Green Bay's favored by 14.5. I fear for Joe Flacco. I fear for that offensive line. I'm not starting Mike Gesicki or Noah Fant at all, and I'm not even reading the Packers defense versus the tight end because I don't think you even need to hear it. On to the Packers side, this is going to be one of my smash play tight ends this week is going to be Tucker Kraft. Packers coming off the bye. Guess who's the worst in the NFL versus the tight end, guys? Probably the worst. I mean, them and the Cowboys are the worst at everything. So the Cincinnati Bengals rank 32nd, dead last versus the tight end, giving up 18.56 points per game, 34 receptions. That's second most in the NFL, 345 yards, which is second worst in the NFL versus the tight end, and 4 touchdowns, which is tied for first for the tight end position. Tucker Kraft is going to be in every single lineup possible. That is why he is the thumbnail. Don't even drop a question in there. I'm going to say start Tucker Kraft over almost every single tight end this week if you ask it. It's time to get interesting here, folks. This is going to be one of my throws of the week here, right? And so it's going to be the 49ers, who are 4-1, and we are headed in to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Jake Tunges is going to be a start for me. So the over-under is 47.5. Tampa Bay is favored by 2.5. But remember, if you guys have watched my other videos, Tampa Bay's secondary is beat up. They were very good to start the season. The injuries and woes are happening for Tampa Bay. And George Kittle looks like a long shot to play. Ricky Pearsall, according to the updates I was reading, looked like he's going to be out. Doesn't know if he's going to be back week 7 or not yet. They say they're hopeful. And you're probably going to have Juan Jennings and Kendrick Bourne. And Tampa Bay, this is where they struggle, is versus the tight end. They rank 21st, giving up 14.6, 27 receptions. That is literally about, 6.5, 7 receptions a game. You just saw Tunges last week get 11 targets with Mac Jones. It looks like Mac Jones is going to be out there again. Back-to-back 14, 17-point outings, 1 touchdown in each. He's the replacement for Kittle. The matchup is great. They give up 222 yards, 4 touchdowns, tied for dead last. That's 80% chance of a touchdown. How can you not like this with Jake Tunges this week? On to the Tampa Bay side, Cade Otton kind of had his first outing that he wasn't running wind sprints all year long. The guy is playing the most snaps for any tight end in the NFL and doing nothing with it till last week. You finally saw a 10-point game from him with, 4 receptions for 81 yards, caught a long one there. And you get the 49ers. The 49ers and Fred Warner, usually good versus the tight end, had a struggle this year. They rank 15th, 13.6 points, 27 receptions, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns. But I do not trust K-Dot, and still he needs to show me a little more consistency. And all the wide receivers are about to be back either way, which is going to hurt his volume regardless heading forward. The 3-2 Patriots, coming off the big win versus the Bills, are headed in to face the 1-4 Saints. And it's just getting uglier and uglier for the darling Juwan Johnson, who started the season as looking like he's going to see a ton of volume in the situation. But Hunter Henry, man, this is the Hunter Henry must start tied end game. So the over-under, 45.5, doing us favored by 3.5 in this game. The Saints guys ranked 27th, fifth worst versus the tight end. You can see as these videos go on. Man, it's been a long day with them, but 5th worst, 16.06, 28 receptions, exactly what you want there. That's almost 6.5 receptions a game kind of thing. 283 yards allowed. That's top 5 worst. 4 touchdowns allowed, tied for first. They cannot stop the tight end. Hunter Henry has to be an absolute start this week. On the Saints side, Juwan Johnson, I put it out there early. Let me fix this. Juwan Johnson not getting the volume he needs. Can he be a possible flex play? Yeah, we'll put him in there as a possible flex play. Bring him back down, bring him back up. I can't decide because his volume has really gotten shot the past couple weeks. He was seeing a lot of slot usage in the Kellen Moore offense to start the season. And then you saw more Chris Olave slot usage. So, and he's limited at practice. He was limited last week coming off injury, but he's still playing crazy snaps. I mean, listen to these numbers, 99%, 96%, 90%, 90%, 85%. That's what you want to see with Evan Ingram. That is volume. But since the ankle injury, it's been 3 targets and 4 targets and 5 points and 3 points. Now, the matchup versus the Patriots is great, guys. They rank, 28th, right below or right above the Pats. The Saints are 6th worst, the Pats are 5th worst, but they're both bottom of the barrel versus the tight end. The Patriots give up 16.1, 31 receptions. That's a ton of receptions, 375 yards, ton of yards. That's top 10 in yardage, 2 touchdowns. But do we trust it? Because he's had 2 duds in a row. That's the hard part. So, yeah, if you need to throw a dart play, low-end flex play tight end, the matchup is great for Juwan Johnson. But I think he's a little hampered with that ankle injury and doesn't look the same out there. So it makes it hard for me to say start him, even though it's a great matchup. Sunday Night Football, here we go. The Detroit Lions are headed into Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. 4-1 Lions, 2-3 Chiefs. Highest over-under of the week, 51.5. KC favored by 2.5 at home, which is wild. And Sam Laporta, guys, in this game is going to be a sit for me. Coming off the big game that he had, again, I don't ride high off the games. I look at the matchups and how they're going to go. And Steve Spagnuolo in this defense, they lock up tight ends. They're number 3 on the season, allowing 6.9 points per game, 18 receptions, 164 yards. And guess what? 0 TDs allowed to the tight end position. That is what the Spags defense does. I am not going to throw Sam Laporta out there in this matchup, even a high implied point total game. I do not think it is going to be a Sam Laporta game. I think it's going to be a Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra game. And it's something that you guys need to know here heading into this game. On to the Chiefs side, Travis Kelce, going to be a low-end flex play possibility for me. The Detroit Lions rank 13th versus the tight end, giving up 12.1, 21 receptions, 213 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So there's a 60% chance of a touchdown right now on the Travis Kelce side. He did get a touchdown last week that should have been called back to that pick play. But again, the Chiefs get away with everything, man. Don't you know, even though they lost the game. But I'll take the 60% chance over the 0% chance for Laporta in this game all day with Travis Kelce over Sam Laporta. I do not like Laporta this week at all, guys. Monday Night Football, the start of the doubleheader. The 4-1 Bills are headed in to face the 2-1 Falcons. And guys, this matchup is going to be absolutely brutal for both of these tight ends. And the Falcons are at home. I messed up the graphic there. But we got to look at these numbers, man. Look at the Atlanta Falcons and what they are versus the tight end. And they're coming off a bye. They're number 1. They give up 4 points to the tight end position on the season, 8 receptions through 4 games, 2 receptions a game, 15 total yards. That is literally 3 or 4, pretty much 3.75 yards per game to the tight end position. Dalton Kincaid has been playing limited snaps. He's been on fire. I'm still not starting Dalton Kincaid in this game. I don't fall for the trap of 3 games of goodness in a row when you play the number 1 team. Kyle Pitts situation. What are the Buffalo Bills versus the tight end? Number 2. These are the number 1 and number 2 teams in the NFL versus the tight end position. The Buffalo Bills allow 5.6, 11 receptions, 113 yards, and a touchdown. Not good, and they played an extra game than the Falcons as well. When your team is giving up 4 and 5 points versus the tight end position, I don't care if the over-under is 49.5 and Buffalo's favored by 3.5 on the road. I do not like the matchups for either of these tight ends, and I know they're big-name tight ends, but I'm not playing them when they're both the 1 and 2 versus the tight end. The second part of the doubleheader, the 2-2 Bears on a 2-0 streak coming off their bye are headed into the Washington Commanders, who are 3-2, got JD5 back, got a dub last week. The game I can't wait to see if you've been watching my videos, 50.5 over under. And guys, the Chicago Bears, we don't know if Colston Loveland's going to be out there. Cole Kmet, could he be, a low-end flex play in this game? Sure, if you want to. I'm not really that high on it. But the Commanders rank 16th. They give up 13.7 points to the tight end, 22 receptions, 327 yards. So a lot of yards they give up. That's bottom 10 right there. 2 touchdowns, so about a 40% chance of a touchdown for Cole Kmet. But you could have Loveland out there, and we don't know yet. So if Loveland's out there, they're both sits for me for sure. But if Loveland's not out there, I haven't seen the updates yet that he's going to be in or out. He could have practiced, didn't practice, did practice, so it's up in the air. But still, if they're both out there, it's a sit. If Cole Kmet's out there by himself, it's a low-end flex play. Commander side, Zach Ertz coming off his first game with 0 catches and God knows how long. But the matchup versus the Bears is good. He's going to be more involved in this game. I'm not buying that he's going to get blanketed again. The Bears rank 18th, giving up 14 points to the tight end position, 29 receptions through 5 games. That is almost 6 receptions a game right there. 207 yards, about 45 yards, and a touchdown at 20% chance. But JD5 loves this guy. The game script got away from the Commanders last week, became the season of Bilge, Corey Krosky-Merritt, and the run game. You're going to have Zach Ertz involved more here, and I still like him as a start. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm not one of those guys where it's a 0, and I'm like, I'm going to run away from him because he had a bad week. I like matchups, and this matchup is going to be good for Zach Ertz. I like him as a start here, especially with Debo in the screen game with Cliff Kingsbury. He should eat across the middle, and especially if Terry McLaurin's back to take the top off. Thanks for rocking with me today, guys. That is the end of the episode. That is my tight ends that you should be starting or sitting heading into week 6. I've got my wide receiver, running back, and quarterbacks. Those are all done. Tomorrow we'll dive into the rankings, even defense and kickers. I'll get them all out tomorrow, hopefully before the Thursday night kickoff and before the show. Sorry, it's been a late start. It's been a nightmare family weekend with just absolute terrible. I even missed the shows on Sunday. Got to apologize for that as well. Did not expect what happened to happen, but it did. So before we head out, guys, make sure you smash that like, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. All the support's appreciated. Again, if you haven't checked out the Guys FF Discord, pin in the comments and in the description of the video. Click that link, join the Discord, win some fantasy football championships. And we're going to be dropping our pick'em tickets in there tomorrow for the Thursday night game between the Eagles and Giants on drafters.com. If you haven't signed up, make sure you use promo code SLEAZE. Shout out to the sponsor there. And that's it for me, guys. That's it for me today as well. I hope you guys enjoyed all the content today. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Sleaze Bomb out.